What's up everybody, welcome back to Meathead Gaming. My name is Roland, this is the best channel that nobody watches except a few special people like yourselves, and today we're going to be talking about Hellblade, which was released in August 2017 and it only costed 30 euros at the time. Probably because it's not a very long game, but what a game it is. It has quality over quantity written all over it. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves, shall we? I remember playing this at launch and it's one of those games that I never really forgot. The experience of it left a mark on me and it's one of the more memorable games that I've played in my adult life. Now I want to flip the script. Usually I talk about the good things and then I end with the bad things. Let's do it the other way around, just because I want to go on an endless love letter to this game and encourage as many people as I can through this review to play it, at least once in their lifetime, especially now that the sequel is out. As I previously mentioned, this is not a long game. It took me about 8 hours to finish. You can definitely do it faster if you rush through it, but I don't think you should, because the more time you spend in Senua's world, the more you care about the main character, the more tension the game brings to the table. And it's not the bad type of tension where you feel like it's leading nowhere. It's the type of tension that makes you care for the protagonist and makes you hope for a happy ending on this one. Will it be a happy ending? I don't know. That's for you to discover. Talking about tension, the game teases you with the permadeath system in the beginning, which is, if you're not aware, it's not true, it doesn't actually work. You will not lose all the progress you've made, don't worry. What that tease does extremely well though is to add tension, immersion, and makes you focus a bit more to what's going on. I don't know what the intention of the developer Ninja Theory was behind making you think that there's permadeath in the game, but if it was to add tension, they fucking nailed it. Another bit that I disliked about the gameplay is the auto log that you experience in combat. So the game automatically locks on enemies, which makes fighting more than 2 enemies a bit annoying at times, not because of the difficulty, but more because of you trying to attack the enemy that you actually want to. Now that I think of it though, the mechanic is not actually that bad. It's automatic and it works decently, I would say. It's much better than other games that use lock-on features in their gameplay actually. Talking about the combat, I can say that it's not an extremely deep game when it comes to the meta, but it's quite satisfying at times, and although the combat is not the main thing why you should get this game, rest assured, in my humble opinion, it is above average. The enemy diversity is a bit shallow. Now that being said, I do love the enemy design and the way they move. Seeing these massive individuals coming towards you can be quite an intimidating experience and further adds tension to the narrative. Also, the level design is pretty basic, but what it does very well with its beautiful sorrow aesthetics is to help the player feel what Senua might feel during her journey. Graphically, the game still looks pretty. Here and there you might notice small bits that will tell you that the game has seen a few winters, but overall it's a beautiful game. I've played it on 1440p with everything turned up and it's perfectly splendid. If that's something that you care about. The bosses are hit and miss for me. They all look great with their intimidating designs, but the combat is fairly basic at the end of it all. I really enjoyed fighting Valround, but the final boss's look and design was quite a big disappointment for me. Now that's not to say that the ending is disappointing because it's fantastic, but the boss, how it looked and how it moved, it was not for me. Some of the backtracking that you have to do after a boss fight is just unnecessary in my opinion. In some instances you have 2 different paths that you can take, at the end of which there is a boss. Once you take care of business on one side, you will have to walk all the way back to get on the other route. Why? It's probably to stretch out playtime, but I'd rather not do that honestly. A game's length is of little importance to me as long as the experience is good. Okay, those are the bad bits, and now that I think of it, most of those bad bits have quite a few redeeming qualities to them. On the other hand, everything else is great. I don't usually use pompous words when doing game reviews because I think they lack weight once you use them too often, but I can wholeheartedly say this is an amazing artistic adventure that one individual can experience. My English vocabulary is not rich enough to give you a correct description of how beautiful this game is. The game does an incredibly good job in slowly but surely building up the tension throughout your journey with its gothic looks, intimidating enemies, great use of Nordic-inspired music and voices that Senua hears along her journey. The developers did a fantastic job in illustrating what a person with mental issues might be experiencing in his or her world. It made me think a lot through my playthrough, because at the end of the day, mental health is a subject that is very important, whether we realize it or not. The voices that Senua hears are a fantastic tool for the developers to give the players tips throughout the combat and puzzle sections, but it also proves to be an excellent guide into figuring out what is happening to Senua and how she got to this point where the sense of dread, desperation, loneliness, nostalgia, and sadness can pick apart even the strongest of us. I briefly mentioned it before, but I also want to bring light to how good the soundtrack of the game is. It enriches Senua's journey tenfolds, and the soundtrack at the end of the game, when you finally go at it, is worth its weight in gold. Another aspect of the experience that I appreciated was the way the storyline unfolds in front of you. I won't give you any details for obvious reasons, but the short dialogues and cutscenes where you get some story exposure are great, and they, again, do a great job in adding tension to Senua's already heart-stopping experience and journey. Ninja Theory truly did a masterful job in making you care about Senua, and that is also partly because of the lady that plays Senua's character, Melina Jurgens. I think she did a tremendous job. The lack of a proper HUD also adds to the immersion and is a tactic that I wholeheartedly salute. Basically what I'm trying to say is that all the small and big elements of the game force you to get immersed into the story, and more importantly, care about the protagonist like no other game really made me. The developer's ability to make you care about Senua is something that I've never experienced for a fictional character. Hellblade has some deeply disturbing sequences, and although I won't spoil anything, there is a level where you lose some of your vision and the tension that you feel is simply breathtaking. This game truly captures and plays with your imagination, and I will always remember it for that. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it leaves a mark on you, and it truly makes you appreciate this entertainment medium called video games. When done right, they are fantastic time wasters, and this one won't even waste your time because it's not long. In conclusion, guys, it's pretty obvious that this game still holds up after 7 years, and I think this is one of those gaming experiences that will stand the test of time, and the players that will experience it in the future, years from now, will be very pleasantly surprised by what they find in Senua's slow descent into madness. Guys, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you enjoyed what you just saw. Leave me a comment or a like or a dislike. Any feedback is welcome because I work on these fairly hard and I enjoy the process, but I would like to hear what people have to say about the game and also the quality of my video. Until next time, stay safe, stay clean, and always stay strong.